What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new video here on my YouTube channel. And for those of you that are new around here and don't know who I am, my name's Aaron. I create travel photography and videography based content here on YouTube. So if that is something that does interest you, be sure to subscribe to the channel. But as you can tell by the title and thumbnail today, I'm going to be discussing how you can shoot B-roll with a point and shoot camera like the camera I am shooting on right now. And the only camera that I do shoot with, apart from my GoPro, is the Sony RX100 Mark V. Now, shooting B-roll in general is quite easy, but if you're doing it with a point and shoot camera, it becomes a little bit tricky because the smaller the camera, the more shakiness you can get. And obviously people regard point and shoot as less professional than DSLR cameras, but I'm going to show you today how you can achieve insane results with just a point and shoot camera. So if you do find this video useful at any point, be sure to let me know by leaving a like on the video, put any comments or questions down below in the comments section, and check out the linked playlist on screen right now, which is some related content. But let's just jump straight to it. Okay, so my first tip with shooting B-roll on a point and shoot camera is to get close up on the subject. Now obviously there's all types of different shots that you can get in filmmaking and obviously when recording B-roll, but the main problem is with a point and shoot camera, you're obviously restricted to the lens that you have. Unlike on a DSLR where you can interchange lenses, you can get different types of shots very easily. And whilst it's still possible to get that wide shot on a point and shoot camera, it is much easier to get very up close to the subject and get a lot more detail in the shots. And it's just the best option for a point and shoot camera because, as I said, you are restricted to the lens. Now obviously shooting close up does have one huge benefit, and that is if you combine it with obviously short clips, putting them fast editing, then the viewer's not going to have much time to process what they get to see, because obviously if you're showing a very small section of what's going on, so if you're obviously zoomed in on something or you're very close up and then you have a very fast-paced editing style, the viewer's not going to have much time to process anything else that's going on within the frame. So they're actually focused on the detail which you want them to be focused on, which is obviously the reason for the close-up shot. And combine that with the fast editing, it's going to keep the viewer very engaged because it will be fast-paced and it will be very appealing to the eye. So that's a great way to film B-roll with a point and shoot camera. Now to follow up on that, it's just a quick thing on composition and framing. Now obviously if you're shooting close up and very fast editing style, you want to make sure that the subject is either within the center of the frame, because obviously the viewer is automatically going to be drawn towards the center, so center framing is a great option to do with that. Use your rule of three, you know, the grids on your camera, and obviously you can use the rule of three as well if you want to have them exactly on the grid lines. So make sure that they are quite central, because with fast-paced editing and obviously close-up shots, you don't want the viewer to be drawn to other parts of the the frame which isn't actually of any importance. To be honest, you want them to focus on the very important part of that particular shot, which is why you need a central figure, or at least on the rule of three, and that way the viewer won't be searching the rest of the frame for any information which they don't really need to process. So taking up a large amount of the frame, putting them central, and obviously fast editing is a great way to achieve B-roll with a point and shoot camera. Now in terms of stability, what makes a DSLR different to a point and shoot is obviously DSLRs are more stable because they're heavier weight. Point and shoots are very light in terms of their weight, and it's very easy to get camera movements which you don't want picked up within the shot because obviously they are much easier to move around. So obviously you could purchase a gimbal, but they're not exactly cheap options, are they? You know, you're probably looking minimum of £100 for a decent gimbal for a point and shoot camera. So what I advise is you can actually get a Joby GorillaPod, which will eliminate significant parts of that shake if you were shooting handheld. And whilst you will look stupid walking around with one of these with a point and shoot camera on top of it, it's a great option because it does take away from the hand, obviously shooting hand movements that can come into the camera. If you actually manipulate the legs, you can actually put them on your body kind of thing and use the Joby GorillaPod like that if you want to get specific types of shots. Another good tip to combine with that is to shoot in a higher resolution. If you shoot in 4K, you can in fact crop in on the frame and actually cut out the edges of the image where most of the shakiness, the instability does come from. And obviously if you are editing on Premiere Pro in post-production, apply warp stabilizer, and that will pretty much eliminate all shakiness from the point and shoot camera. Another good practice you can put into place when you are shooting B-roll is obviously with camera movements. You want to add camera movements to your film, your vlog, whatever it is, to obviously add to the shot itself. And most people will probably presume camera movement is using your hand to manipulate the camera, which is obviously what most people do, but actually using body movements, especially if you're using a point and shoot camera, can eliminate a lot of the shakiness, because if you use body movements, so basically use your body instead of your hands to do the panning, the tilting, the sliding, then you're actually taking the movement further away from the camera's sensor. If you're obviously doing the pans, the tilts and all that with the camera, you are a lot more likely to get some shakiness. Whereas if you're doing it with your body, a great example is the one where you actually step forward, you slowly lean forward until you actually step, and then obviously you cut out the step because there will be a big jitter. You get that really nice slow panning forward motion, and you're actually using your body and the camera is staying pretty much still the whole time, so you do really eliminate a lot of shakiness, specifically from side to side if you're going backwards and forwards, and obviously if you're going side to side then you eliminate up and down movement. So it's a great way to actually eliminate any shakiness from your shot by using body movements to take the movement further away from the camera's sensor rather than doing it in the camera using your hands. So if you use all of them tips, then you're going to end up with a decent looking B-roll sequence that can look something like this. So as you can see from that sequence, the results are pretty impressive, and whilst it's not some drone footage of the Maldives, unfortunately, it's still something that's going to catch the viewer's attention without a doubt, and they are just my quick tips on how you can shoot B-roll with a point and shoot camera. If you did find this video useful, be sure to let me know by leaving a like on the video. Put any comments or questions on B-roll or point and shoot cameras or the Sony RX100 Mark V in the comment section below. And obviously if you're new around here, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. But thank you for watching, guys. Till next time, goodbye.